Hello. It's another episode of Write Once, Read Many. This time covering chapter 29.x, The Interlude. So that means Vic's here.
Hello. It means I did weird art. This is one of the first, not one of the first. This is one of the only interlude chapters where I wasn't where the interlude cover isn't featured in the art. I think I also did this with Dr. Mother's quote-unquote chapter or interlude chapter. And I guess it's just because I hate cauldron people. But like,
Yeah.
Contessa really doesn't have a sense of self at all, like aside from, like outside of basically the scene, you know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
as soon as she interacts with Eden, or like even has her trigger vision or whatever, like it doesn't seem like she maintains like any sort of, I don't know, like she really is just her mission. She's like a flying bullet and nothing else.
Yeah. Oftentimes when people talk about, like, when they're more critical in Star Wars discussions about, like, Luke Skywalker and, like, his relationship to Ben Kenobi, they're like, yeah, Luke Skywalker's like a cruise missile, and he, like, pointed him at Darth Vader.
Yeah. It's just like in Star Wars. Dr. Mother
Is old Ben.
Kenobi?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, this is just like her interaction with Eden, and you can see like she has all these blind spots or whatever. Like she's not able to fully conceptualize her, as well as the fact that Eden is like always phasing in and out of reality, like the current reality or whatever. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting. This art, for whatever reason, also reminded me very much of like a particular very like visual scene that happens right at the start of Ward, where Victoria is like using her power for the first time that we see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's like maybe the last chapter of the first arc kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's a very ending there.
All right. I gotta say, with the new setup, I might need to find a way to like level it down. But like the intro music is like really loud on my side.
Oh yeah.
But I'll figure something out. But if I'm ever distracted while the music is playing, it's because it's kind of blasting for me.
It's because you're partying over there.
Yeah. I did actually have an audience participation question this time, which is, which cape from the story would you most want to see the alternate timeline version of? So we can give that a think and say our answers at the end.
Yeah.
And then for themes, I kind of feel like the theme where like Taylor has to decide between like expedience and like caring is exemplified in this chapter, because it's like the ultimate critique of utilitarianism, where like the moment to moment utilitarian decisions that Fortuna makes throughout the entire story all kind of culminate in this this future that she has where she's miserable basically, and where she hasn't necessarily done the best version of like fixing things because she didn't think of like a large enough possibility space, kind of.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's exactly like what happens to Eden in this chapter as well, is that like her ultimate failure was like not looking at the not valuing like the current timeline and not valuing like the moment to moment or whatever. And just like ignoring all of that for the optimal future, which is what happens to Contessa.
Like literally, if the two entities had cooled off and the thinker had been like, okay, I got all this new information that we need to consider. We actually need to delay the process. Like, they
Yeah.
could have gone on and had, like, this super high level, like, next, step. But
Yeah.
instead, they, like, um, kind of waste everything because they come in too hot and then she crashes instead of being able to like carry out her, like you said, the optimal plan where she's trying to like
Mhm.
use everything they just got like in the exact perfect way to make this
Mhm.
scenario where the wardens are fighting the shepherds. So
Yep.
um and then let's see, what else did I want to say. I also wanted to compare that to um the way that Scion messed up like 2 chapters ago when he finds the version of Eden and he has like screwed up his timeline. He like used the wrong question to seek her out, and he found her in the state where she was already dead, and then he had already gone too far forward and spent too much power to like undo that move.
Yep. Yeah.
So we're basically like he's speed running what Fortuna did in like 28 or 29 years, however long.
Mhm. Yeah. I think there's also like I guess like a loss of humanity or like a lack of humanity kind of theme, like the way that Fortuna sees Eden, where she's like she's putting on this like facade and like trying to get certain results from people by like pretending to be human-ish, which is like also exactly what Contessa will do later because but it's because of a total inability to like be
Well,
actually
it's also
genuine.
like it's like a weird it's like a weird double thing where it's like they're not like fully, like they still are only embracing like the worst, most conflict driven side of humanity because they, like, she kind of tee hee hees after like some of her stuff, which is part of what makes Fortuna so sure she's evil, is because she's
Yeah.
not just like morally neutral and feeling like this isn't like a thing. She's like, I can't believe I've got all these little ants fighting each other in the ant farm. So like it's her like slight evilness and not even a full detachment that is like so obvious to Fortuna's like mental sensibilities.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like they're these kind of entities that just like eat and destroy everything around them and like eat off of the chaos. Like that is part of it, but I think because of like the human brains that they have, they like are having fun doing it, which
Yeah,
makes it worse.
yeah. And I
Um,
mean like that's highlighted in this chapter yet again, but the Taylor's trying to bend like to tell people that's one of the key things like for a while now, and then like she was really explicit about it last chapter, like we can't use emotion powers but we can hurt his feelings.
we can physically destroy him with bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um
I guess there's also the like loss of humanity that we see with Dr. Mother because Dr. Mother at the beginning seems to be like a very like warm and loving kind of person. Like she I don't know, like there are other people there, but she's the only one who like goes after Fortuna like just to protect her, even though she doesn't know her, and then she like physically like holds her while she's having this confrontation with Eden, and then like adopts her essentially,
Well, I
and
also think
it
it
takes.
like that moment shows this thing that kind of crops up way more in Ward, but it's like parahumans can't do this alone. Like and it
Mm-hmm.
happened earlier in this book when they needed a
With
dragon's
Jack.
tooth. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Where like there's this whole idea that like for humanity to win against the alien entities, it's not like we need the most powers. It's like, yes, you need to stack a bunch of power effects because that's the setting you're in, but you need the support of the regular humans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Or
normie.
perhaps the people who represent the downtrodden, even though they are from all walks of life, because it's a
Yeah.
story.
Well,
Yeah.
and like the first time we really see that is like from Taylor's perspective too, when she brings on Scarlet, Sierra, and like Forrest, I think was probably the most damning, because
You
he could
said
physically.
Scarlet instead of
Oh,
Charlotte. That's
jeez.
funny.
Charlotte. But yeah, like Forrest like physically gets in an altercation with like one of the most dangerous capes like in the world. Like
Well,
just
cuz
cuz.
I mean, there's certain points where it's like obviously having powers helps you, but Taylor goes into so many fights where like literally aside from slight perception like bonuses she's getting, like her powers aren't changing the outcome. It's just the
Not
fact that
applicable, yeah.
she's like a freak who's willing to like run in and stab someone, and like she's willing to get hurt and like kick people like just when they're down, and like all these different like factors about the way she fights and stuff. She's just
Yeah.
using her normal human body and her like regular human stubbornness and rage to like
Yeah.
go blitz people. Yeah.
Yeah, even the fact that like her first weapon of choice is like a freaking baton. Like, okay, because anyone can have a baton.
Yeah, yeah. She's not like I need to have some like really high skill whatever weapon. It's just like however good you can get with a baton, it does pretty much start out with her just like whacking
I need
people.
a really hard stick.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I think that's all I have for themes.
cool. We can move into the chapter thingy. So,
Okay. So we open with a trigger vision. I mean, we do or don't know it's a trigger vision, but it's the vision that Fortuna has when she triggers.
mhm.
Which hers is quite different because of the scenario, but this is from Eden's perspective because her power came from Eden.
Mhm.
Scion is, which like I'm gonna call them Eden and Scion this whole time. They are not
Yeah.
referred to as Eden and Scion.
Yeah, and I think that's
um,
fine cuz it just keeps it clear for the listener or and for the dialogue like that's how it's going to
mhm,
be clearest to me, and if no one ever
yeah.
listens to this then you know, I'm the audience.
Yeah, so we've kind of seen this scene from Scion's perspective. He's picking out a world for them, and Eden's like, "Yeah, agree, agree." Like she's like not really paying attention.
Yeah, she's
um,
like off put by how many times that he's checking in.
yeah, which is like I don't know it. I guess from like Scion's perspective, I kind of thought this like whole scene was endearing. But yeah, she like seems not as into him as he is into her.
Babe, I'm
Where
trying to
he's just
check out
like,
our new house and like see what it's going to be like. I want to make sure we get a
yeah.
good one.
he's like, "You're so smart. Like, I need to make sure that this stuff I'm doing." And she's like, "Oh, he picked out. I just agreed with everything because I already know he's on the same track that I already picked."
And it's
um,
weird because if you think about it, in the later scenes, it's her earlier dismissiveness that also gets them in trouble because they
mm,
like he's making the plans and he's dumb, and so when she's trying to do her like last minute like super corrections, it's like harder to. It seems like if she had been more involved here, then maybe they could have like had a better laid plan. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very much like giving all of the Future Vision episodes from Steven Universe, where it's like you need to just because you know what the outcome's gonna be doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean you can't like pay attention and be dismissive. Oh, hi, alien cat daddy. So you're saying she didn't listen? Story of my life.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
um, yeah, so he's picking out a world for them. Eden's like, yeah, 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 whatever. Because she is getting a signal from another entity. And she is kind of hemming and hawing, but she does end up sending it her location. And I have a quote here.
Yeah. They meet violently, as their ancestors did. They share with one another in a violent fashion, crashing together, breaking shard from shard. This entity knows right away that there is a wealth of information here, but there must be cooperation, information given for information.
Yeah, so Eden like places some shards that she thinks she can spare on her exterior, and she's keeping like the more important ones for right now in her interior. They break apart, and Eden's like, "That was really good. Like, what a great exchange that just happened." But Scion is concerned because he's like in the now and sees like how like violent this whole altercation was, and that she's like shedding all these things right before they're like going in for their big plan.
Babe, you seem
Um,
pretty injured. No, I'm
yeah.
good.
And Eden starts plotting their optimal future, and she dives into one possibility where she and a handful of other capes are being briefed by a cape called Partisan, and he's revealing that there's three new. I just called them irregulars, but they're not irregulars. But there's three irregular like entities that have appeared.
I think they're supposed to be
Now,
like they're supposed to remind us of like Endbringers, even though they could
yeah,
have
they're
come
like
from other
mini
means.
Endbringers or something. But
They
yeah.
yeah, they are like they have this like religious theming that feels like the same way that the shards choose like what format to like, freak out
Mhm.
people. Um
Yeah.
but do you want me to read the are we at the quote?
Yeah, so I was just gonna say there's three new ones, which
Oh
makes a
yeah.
total of nine now. Nine have appeared, so go ahead.
Maybe more we don't know about, Arsenal speaks. A power the entity held in reserve identified something wrong. The entity turned and looked at its partner, standing slightly behind it, taciturn and silent. They exchanged the smallest of broadcasts. A consensus was reached between them. Arsenal knew something about the superweapons, or he suspected strongly enough for it to matter.
Mm, interesting. Also, yeah, so Scion is also physically in this interaction, but he does not talk or do anything the entire time. So I don't know if that's just normal for him,
He's just a
even in this
beefcake. He's
timeline.
not like, yeah, he's
He's just a himbo
yeah, he's
following his
literally
babe around.
that's why I can't stop but thinking of like his demeanor, especially because he's like, wants her attention a lot and like is very like
Agreement? Agreement?
yeah,
Agreement?
yeah, it's just like the babe, are you good? But
um, yeah. So Eden tells them she like kind of knows Arsenal's testing or whatever, so she tells them that there's 11 more, and Arsenal did seem to know about these as well. So these super weapons are very like conveniently like stressing people out by being stationed at the borders of like seeming like first world nations or whatever, and they're just standing there. They're not doing
It
anything right now.
it kind of seems like in this future, like I got the distinct impression that they have made a sort of artificial Cold War between major Cape factions, and they're
Mm-hmm.
using that on as an additional layer. Like I'm sure there's still like small scale fights, but they're willing to let the empowered individuals like gather together more because they have like Eden has this idea of this more complex system where they're going to have like the
Mm-hmm.
two major factions. Um, and so they've probably cut up the world. They each have their own like cordoned off area, and then like they talk
Mm-hmm.
about other nations that kind of like are outside the bounds of either one of these two superpowers.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this is Eden's like, oh, well, we really can't know for sure, but all signs are pointing to the shepherds. Um, yeah, Alien Cat Daddy said, I think we actually mentioned just this last week in question time. Um, so Partisan and Arsenal seem to think that war is their only option. So smart. Men are so smart. But Miss Militia's like, "Hey guys, I've been in a war before." She's not called Miss Militia, but there's a lady with a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, we don't know her name. So Arsenal says the weapons seem to be projections, and so they need to just cut the head off. And Eden tells Partisan that they're gonna help, but that they're like super busy with like all this other secret stuff that nobody else knows about. So you guys are gonna have to do all of the front work, and then we'll just like show up at last minute to help defeat them, which is
Yeah.
incredibly suspicious.
And it's funny too because that's literally the dynamic they have with Scion now. It's just
With the
more
Endbringers.
mysterious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
the like obviously not in the
He's just
last few arcs, but
he's just
generally.
not point blank telling them like, guys, I'm gonna be really busy, so I won't be able to be at the beginning of the Endbringer fight. And then they look, and he's like rescuing cats from trees.
Yeah, he's like, "Do good. Fight him off." uh,
I'll get there. Don't worry. Before
yeah.
too many of you die.
Before
Everything.
some of you die. Yeah. Um the entity trailed off. It could see Arsenal's suspicions growing deeper. "You have your hands full," Clarence said. The entity nodded. It feigned a moment of weariness, assuring these individuals it was merely human.
This just comes off as so cheeky.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the
Like
many tee-hee moments.
so Partisan gives Eden a some sort of communication device that Arsenal and Richter created that can cut through some blackout that's happening. So they all like wish each other luck, and Eden's like, "Don't worry, things are definitely gonna get better." Wink, wink, wink. And they all break apart. They all break apart, but Eden obviously can just still hear everything that's happening around her. So she's listening as Miss Militia approaches Partisan. She's like not happy about him suggesting war, but Partisan seems to have some sort of plan to bait the shepherds into an attack. And he's like, but this is definitely all gonna work out because we have the two most powerful parahumans on our side. And then they
Yeah.
have a quote here.
Hearing Partisan's words, Arsenal's suspicions had reached a climax. He would say something. That is, he would if the entity didn't intervene. The entity passed by him, and it leveraged a power. wiping a memory, setting a block in place. The same blocks that prevented accord between the wardens and the shepherds. The same blocks that prevented Partisans' special sight from seeing the entity's power at work.
Yep. So Scion interrupts her future vision with more planning, and she's like, "Come on, man. I was in the middle of something." Um, but yeah, she's
I was
like, "Okay, this
daydreaming
sucks."
about that crystalline hunk that we run past. And all his
So she
newfound
agrees.
philosophy.
This is the optimal future. He did kind of get cucked, like right in front of him. um, but it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, she's like, yeah, this is the optimal future that I already picked out for you. So go ahead with whatever. But she acknowledges she has all these holes in her vision and understanding due to the shard exchange that she just had. Doesn't seem concerned about it. So the full plan is for Scion to deploy his shards now, and then Eden's going to wait until this big conflict with like the wardens and the shepherds to deploy hers and spice things up a little bit. Um, so yeah, this just seems like this scene happened like really early in the whole Cape scenario. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so they continue to hash things out, but as they approach Earth, Eden starts shedding off more and more shards, but she's focusing on maintaining the powers that are most important for setting up this optimal future that she picked, and so she's just letting all of the ones that she doesn't need shed off
Well,
while she
it's
prepares her
also
body.
it's also like if they hadn't had this plan to add hers in like after they had seen, because as much as they like to game stuff out and be like, I do know what's gonna happen, they specifically don't know what's gonna happen. So
Yeah, like she doesn't even know that what's happening right now.
yeah, so the fact that they like need to not know what's happening to a degree so that they can make the plans at the time and like throw in the shards at the time, like that's critical to the way that um that only Scion's shards had latched to people, because otherwise Cauldron wouldn't have any material to work with. They would have they, dead shard or not, I think the power still would have distributed um, to the various people.
Yeah.
But since they had specifically held them in reserve, that's another like boon to the humans.
Yeah. So she's like hurtling towards Earth and like not thinking about gravity, I guess, and she's like doing all this stuff with her shards, so she doesn't like realize what's happening before she's literally hit the ground. And that's the basically the thing that starts her death. Um, So Fortuna wakes up from this trigger vision and she starts screaming because she's very upset about Eden doing all this. I did like take it at first. I was like, oh, she's like screaming because that was like it was like scary and freaked her out or whatever. But she does like it does seem like she immediately conceptualizes like Eden as this like evil or whatever that she needs to stop. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, I think that because she had this trigger vision and is able to force herself to remember it, um, and it's not like some abstract vision like the one that Miss Militia has, where it's like, oh, isn't that nice? This like godly being like help me, because it's like from the perspective of
yeah, she was
that.
like inside of her emotions and
Yeah, she was
stuff.
like, oh my god, this lady's evil.
Yeah.
The devil does
But
wear
yeah.
Prada.
The devil wears full silver. I was curious whether Scion and Eden were clothed in this whole scene.
I got the idea that they were like robed to seem like cool guys, basically. They're like, yeah, I'm pure silver and he's pure gold. but we also wear mysterious wizard robes.
Yes, yes. There are more wizard robes later in this chapter. I
Yeah.
was when I was writing the thing, I was like, and then Mirrodin's here for some reason, and I was like, wait, no. He's
He's
just the
alive
only
again.
other person. He's the only other person that we had seen in wizard clothes.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah. So Fortuna wakes up and starts screaming, and her uncle's like trying to stifle her. He like puts his hand over her mouth. And he's like, "You gotta be quiet because the monsters are out." But she's still reeling from this dream, and she starts freaking out because she feels it starting to slip away. And when she tells herself she has to remember the 9 steps to do so magically snap into place. And I have a quote here.
she is touched, another man said, one of her uncle's friends. She could dimly recall something happening to her parents, a cataclysmic event, except she couldn't allow herself to start remembering. She hasn't changed, her uncle said. We both saw the phantom, the night thing, leap out at her. So yeah, in this like altered state and this like weakened state from Eden, like you see a like extra dimensional, because you know they sort of shift in and out of like the fourth
Yeah,
dimension
the
or
like
whatever.
physical shards are literally like running around, like
They're like
possessing people.
they're moving around to like make, yeah, the physical connection, and then like grab onto them and create a corona palencia or however it's doing it.
Yeah, so that's interesting. They're just kind of all on their own. It's just interesting that they're that you can phys physically see them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she's like, yeah, I gotta remember. Step one, stop thinking about the memories, and then she follows the next steps to kind of avoid her uncle and his friend trying to stop her, and she like beats him up just a little bit before she gets to the medicine bag. She pours some of these powders into her hand and then swallows them before her uncle can reach her. Um, so when she wakes up, she's like in all this pain because I don't I don't know,
She
they didn't
seemingly
have like a
poisoned
normal sleep
herself.
medicine. She poisoned herself.
Yeah, with
But she
just the
still
right
remembers,
poison.
yeah, she still remembers the trigger vision and all its implications. And thinking about this triggers her power, and she kind of starts testing it out, thinking about how she can save uh, the town in only a 533 step plan. And but as time is passing, the steps like update, and there's more and more of them. And her uncle sees that she's awake and asks her if her madness has passed. I have a quote
Mhm.
here.
You moved like someone else was inside you, escaped Rogero and me like we were even there. I remember, she said. She remembered so much. She understood it all, and she couldn't explain it. 92 steps. She could explain it. Could she explain it and save everyone? Explain it and find the strange god beast and save her hometown from this chaos? It was possible. It would require 2,174 different actions, statements, movements, decisions at precise times, but she hesitated to carry it out.
So the steps are growing more and more as she doesn't act, and she's thinking of all the people she needs to help. And she realizes with this that she has to choose between protecting her people and stopping the entities. So she kisses her uncle's cheek and tells him to run as far as he can and not eat or drink for 3 days. And this seems to, like, this will keep him safe at least. And he asks her to come with him, and she just shakes her head and starts running away up the hills, up to the mountain. Um, there's like a there's like a cliff or whatever that she has to climb at the top of the mountain. So she starts climbing up this rock wall, and there's a dead irregular at the base of it. And she realizes that something went horribly wrong with the entity's plans, and like none of this that happened in her town was supposed to have happened. So at the top of the wall, there's like a big chasm where the entity fell and all these gaps into other realities, like in the landscape. And she makes her plan to kill it, but there's like this haze over it in her mind when she's trying to think of it. So she's approaching the entity with her knife. She's just got like a little oyster shucker knife. She's like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this'll do it. um, but there's also other people up here from nearby worlds. So we see Dr. Mother, who is unnamed,
Eden was
but
sloppy with the doors at this point.
yeah. Yeah, Dr. Mother's here and this is what I mean, like she sees this child and she tries to protect her immediately. Like it just makes me very sad because at some point she did have this kind of like maternal instinct that she like carries into her name or whatever, but
Which is like
obviously things
why
turn out weird.
it's 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 why they even start down this path, is because of her
Yeah.
like kind of better nature, which is like worn
Yeah, both of
away
their better
completely.
natures, which is just so
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she tries to step in front of Fortuna to stop her from approaching the entity, but she just pushes past her and lets herself slide into the pit that the entity is in. And Dr. Mother follows, like, butt scooches down next to her. And Fortuna's like, this is like the same flesh garden that we have basically seen already. She's like
Mm-hmm.
kind of disgusted and disturbed by the human nature of the entity, like the actual like physical sounds and like appearance of her,
I
because she knows that it's like this horrible mask.
I think on top of everything else, it's like the overall like pseudo emotional power that worked on Taylor looking at the garden. Like
Hmm.
she's not like immersed in the world of parahumans. She's not like okay with the crazy stuff yet. She's coming
Yeah.
from like a total human perspective, so like, and she's got like this deep core understanding that like Eden is like purely malevolent. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
So she's like kind of freaked out by that. She approaches the facade of Eden, the actual like creation that she was making, the human,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
who's still and she's like still alive and moving at this point. And she's like moving towards Fortuna, and Fortuna raises her knife to stab her, but she's like, oh no, what was I gonna do?
Yeah, she
She
keeps
just like,
getting mentally blocked over and over again.
yeah.
And I think that Eden is able to do it easier on her because like they have a direct connection through the shard, whereas like
Mhm.
even though Dr. Mother is theoretically like a latent parahuman, she has
Mhm.
like a scion shard. Um
Well, I wonder if this is the moment that she gives Dr. Mother a, what's it called? The little brain part.
a corona palentia. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
like maybe she like is like, oh no, I need to stop this woman too, so she like starts to try to like give her a trigger or whatever.
I also hadn't considered that if Dr. Mother's been here for 3 days and Fortuna says that the um the powers are in the food and water supply, which is how they get the
Mhm.
idea to harvest the power from Eden's body in the first place, is from
Mhm.
like the fact that they know that even a portal to the Garden of Flesh can taint water. Um,
Mhm.
uh, I guess that's how they got the. I never made the direct leap, but that's obviously supposed to be what we how we see that they came up with the idea for the powers. That's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah,
sorry, I'm
yeah.
just making new connections as we go.
Um, yeah, so she's like approaching her with this knife. She's trying to stab her, but she can't like get it figured out. And she's kind of just stunned into um but yeah, Dr. Mother is yelling behind her, and Fortuna uses her power to translate, which I do find very funny. Does 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 Contessa not actually know any English? Like even in current day?
I
Because
think
what would be the point of learning it?
she learned English because like actually knowing English allows her to use fewer steps on her power. So
Yeah,
it's
that
a
makes sense.
benefit once she has the time to learn it.
Yeah, yeah. And she probably is very fast at learning it anyways. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Her power is like, she's like, I need to learn English as fast as possible. Step one, download Duolingo.
Oh no. Um, Good
So,
thing it was the 80s. Uh,
she, shit, I have to wait 40 years. Um, Dr. Mother is, yeah, so Dr. Mother's yelling at her, and Fortuna translate that. Dr. Mother's like, stab it! Which I just thought was very funny.
yeah, she's like, stab it. I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
mean? I
stab
can't
it.
get my
It's like
arms
she
to
has the
move.
tiniest knife in the world, and this is like a huge, huge thing that they've been seemingly like lost in. I think they just can't get down the cliff, actually. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah. So she's like, okay, I'll stab it, and she just starts shaking. And can't figure out what to do. She knows that Eden is gonna kill her. Eden smiles at her at this point, and she's like, "Oh my God, she's gonna kill me."
Eden's like,
Which
got her ass.
just so funny that Eden smiles
I'm telling
because,
you, Eden's got like the most tee energy of all time.
well, yeah, and like she has to put in the effort to do that. Like she wouldn't naturally know to smile yet, or maybe she's so human that she went hee hee, I'm gonna kill her, and her face just naturally did it.
That's why I'm telling you, she's so much more human at the start than Scion is
That's
until
Zion,
like
yeah.
this point in the story, when he's kind of got more human stuff going on. But like, um, yeah, I think it's because of those ideas she got off the other entity,
Mhm.
the Abaddon
Yeah.
third entity. Is because she's like, oh man, I know all about how to be the meanest girl. um, are
The
we?
other entity was just a mean girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
So yeah, she's like, Dr. Mother's like, come on, do it, and she's like, I can't do it. But I did see visions of what Eden will do, and Dr. Mother asks if Eden is dangerous, and then asks where Fortuna was going to stab it, but Fortuna's like, ah, fuck, I don't remember. So
Yeah.
Eden starts moving. She's like every time she moves, she's like growing more, like adding more to her body or whatever. And this disrupts Fortuna and Dr. Mother because they're kind of like standing on part of her. And she, uh, yeah, go ahead and you can read this quote.
Yeah. Um, I also wanted to show the Lonsheep art once the quote is over. Just I think this is the best time for it. But it bent over, head hanging, arms suspended to either side. She saw the nape of the neck as hair slowly slid free, silky and straight. Still unable to bring herself to move, she found her left arm extending, palm down, until the longest finger pointed at the spot in question. The woman behind her took hold of that fist that held the knife. She stepped forward, driving the knife down, as if she were an extension of Fortuna, plunging into the spot where the spine met the skull. And then
So,
go over
Fortuna and the
to this
doctor are, oh yeah, let's see
sort
the
of
art.
famous fan art by
Mm-hmm.
Lonsheep, who is a fan artist, spelled Lonsheep, I think is one word. Um, But I've got a
Yeah,
link to that in the stream description. Anyway.
there's her smiling at her. She's going, hee hee, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I do like that. I know this is probably a more accurate representation of what Dr. Mother was wearing, but when she's wearing this short dress and she's got a lot of cleavage, I just imagine she was like in club going attire.
Yeah. Well,
Like she was
I
trying to go to the
figured.
club and then something horrible happened.
Yeah, I mean, I figured like it seems like the Fortuna's like a tribes person from a small
Hmm.
village kind of thing, and like they
Yeah.
might wear like really conservative clothes, like small C conservative, um, and so it might be just like kind of a normal office dress from the '80s that she's like
Yeah.
horrified by.
I know. That's what I was unsure where Dr. Mother lived before this. I mean, it says she has
I think she speaks
an
English.
apartment or whatever. Yeah, does she have like
I
an
think she has.
accent?
Yeah, she has like an accent, but I got the distinct impression she didn't like learn English after this incident.
Yeah, yeah. Um, she's like, "Hey, Fortuna, what's the quickest way for me to learn English?" And she's like, "Here, install Duolingo."
Oh no. Um,
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I love this scene where she helps her. She like holds her hand and helps her stab her.
yeah.
But yeah, so Fortuna and the doctor fall as the entities writhing around. Dr. Mother asks if they need to go at it again, but Fortuna's like, no, she's like super kind of almost dead now. Um,
We
Dr.
got
Mother's
her
like,
ass.
she's like, please explain. Like, I've been stuck here for 3 days and I'm wearing my club outfit. But Fortuna tells her she'll help take her back home, but that she also needs help with another entity. So, back
I
at Dr.
got good
Mother's
news and
apartment,
bad news. I can take you straight home, but also we're fucked.
where you're going to be obligated to me for the next, what, tw-
30
how many
something.
years is.
Like it's either
Yeah,
like between 29 or 31, something like that. I'm trying to
yeah.
think of exactly when, because there's like a time gap of like maybe a year when they know about powers because this happened, but like nobody's seen Scion yet.
Yeah. So, yeah, they discuss next steps at her apartment, and Fortuna's like just struggling really hard to think around the mental blocks with Scion and asks for general suggestions on defeating any powerful being. And Dr. Mother is like, "Oh yeah, war." She's like, "Yeah, we'll probably need an army and weapons." And luckily, that's only going to take around 140,000 steps to take care of. And this
Easy
is when
peasy.
this is when Fortuna realizes that they're going to have to use the remnants of Eden to create more monsters like the ones that had taken over her home. So this is like, that's the thing. It's like the plan starts. They like you had kind of said earlier with like Eden or whatever. We could have taken a little breath, um, or maybe a little breather before we just jumped into things. But we just jump into things, and I don't think we rethink things from here, from this point.
Well, that's the thing is they're like we have no time. This could go off at any second, and then like even as they learn later on, like okay, these are the probable timelines that are going to happen. They
Hmm.
never like change course. They're like we keep getting betrayed. How does this keep happening to us? And then like
Maybe it's that unfounded plan because it really is an unfounded plan because the plan isn't defeat Scion. The plan is how do we get an army and weapons, and like that's where they start. which is like I think just justifies all of our hate for their plans up to this point.
Well,
That
because
there's
like,
not really a clear path. They're just they're the kind of flying blind just like
well,
everybody else, but they're like insisting that they have the answer.
their plan is so similar to the standard plan of just like, well, we need parahumans and we need conflict. They basically just have the same fucking plan Scion has, and he's a big dumb idiot.
Yeah. She just takes Eden's evil plan and does the same thing.
She's like, I
So,
got an idea. We just do all the bad guy stuff.
the first patient, Fortuna, ends up having to kill to end his suffering because he had like a bad transformation. There were scales growing in his lungs. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's wild
And
when it's like telling us the explanation of like the thing started spinning around his knee and then his fucking leg fell apart and it's like ugh.
yeah, yeah, and this obviously upsets Fortuna, because she sheds her old identity and she will only go by Contessa from now on. So Dr. Mother and Contessa both, they're like, okay, like let's reconsider things, but then Scion appears on the news and they're like, okay, I guess we should try again. Well, Dr. Mother asks if they should try again, and Contessa's like, I don't know, I can't really see anything. So Dr. Mother's kind of like grilling her for more answers, and Contessa starts crashing out. She's like, I just can't answer any questions when it comes to Scion. Like, I don't know what to do. And Dr. Mother, at this is the point where she's like, I'm gonna take over decision making from now on. And then that this same thing. We set this into motion and then we never ever reconsider.
I'm the lead
Um,
designer and you'll carry out all my plans.
yeah. So Dr. Mother says either they need to replicate what happened with Eden by breaking Scion, or they need to use Eden to make a weapon to destroy him. They kind of both agree that the latter's the best option and that they are going to need to make some more vials. So their
Well,
first
it's
batch of
funny because like I totally understand why they didn't go with out if we're saying plan 1 and plan 2 and they went with plan 2.
mhm,
I get why they didn't go with plan 1, but it turned out in the end that
that
you
was the right plan.
and that not that they went about it the best way, but kind of that you need both plans. Like had they not acted, there's nothing to say that like Taylor's gambit with the Endbringers wouldn't have still brought them on board, and then like they kind of say that they put down a bunch of super dangerous threats, and to a certain extent I believe them, but I kind of think that they're overstating the value that they held, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just weird because it's like at face value, this plan pretty good. And at what point did we start thinking that the best way to go about giving people vials was to raid alternate universes and kidnap people without properly informing them?
Yeah, yeah, and I
Actually, it
mean,
doesn't seem like they properly informed them in this scene either, because the transformed seem pretty upset.
yeah. I well also it's like a thing where it seems like we've been given as an audience like many examples to show like they kind of have a company line that they give about a situation, but if you just like think about it with your thinking brain, then you're like that's dumb as hell. Like
Well,
they
their
claim that
thinking
they
brain is Contessa.
yeah. Well, they claim like, oh, well, by having the Siberian out there, then more parahumans will flock to the Protectorate, and it's like that doesn't actually make a lot of sense to me. They might be like,
Oh
I
man.
don't want to get fragged by the Siberian, and then like on top of that, like even if they don't have that attitude and they are more like, yeah, I want to be in the fight, it's just like if you think about all the capes who have a power that can't deal with the Siberian, but could maybe make a powers combo to like rule break, air quotes rule break some of the powers and like
Mhm.
maybe have some effect that would really help, um, then it just doesn't seem likely that it's more beneficial to have the Siberian out there unless you have like a specific plan to have, I don't know, the Siberian projection try to tear apart Behemoth or something. Um,
Yeah, yeah. It just is stupid. I think they would have really done if we're gonna go the evil route, like we should have gotten somebody with a sort of emotion power similar to like what Teacher has, where people are just gonna ally with him and like align themselves with his wants or whatever.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know, we'd be in a lot better situation.
Yeah. And then
Um,
yeah, the last thing I was going to say about that was mm, nope, lost it. We'll move on.
that's okay. So they give out the 10 vials. 5 of them seem to be really happy, which honestly is a pretty good rate for the first 10 vials. Like, oh my God. Um,
Mhm, mhm.
they feel great. Their long-term ailments have disappeared. 2 of them have become irregulars that seem like non-functional anymore, and 1 of them is Doormaker. Um, do we know any of these 5 that are happy? Do we know who
Let
they
me
are?
double check. I think Hero is one of them. He's in the character tags at the bottom of the chapter. I think Hero
Okay.
is like the blonde man who had like a reedy heartbeat.
That's crazy. I never imagined Hero to be blonde.
Maybe they didn't
It
say
just seems so
blonde. Let me
wrong.
see.
They totally mentioned the blonde man, yeah. Um, just one moment. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I can still hear you, so you can keep chatting.
Gotcha. Yeah. Um. So yeah. The boop boop boop. It's funny because in the document, irregulars is being used to term any like transformed parahuman, like that would be termed at like a case 53. But then there's also the team, the irregulars, um, which is kind of uh, just leads to silly situations. But when the irregulars attack Cauldron, Contessa just sees a wall of fog approaching. She tries to locate Dr. Mother with her power, but she's too near the fog. An irregular appears near her, but teleports away again. And when she throws her knife, he notifies the other irregulars because she can't get him. She can only sort of drive him away. Um, and then she tries to like get herself back to the number man, but all the paths are blocked by the fog. And then she calls the number man instead and is talking to him. Um, and then she tells him everything she knows about the situation. Um, that she's blocked off from getting to the doctor's in danger, etc., and that there's a perception blocking power. And then Weld like runs in and busts his way through. Like he sort of stops his momentum at the door frame and just like kind of rips part of the door frame off. Um, but yeah, Contessa sort of ends her phone call because Number Man tells her to like run out the window in his office rather than trying to move through the complex. Um,
I'm back.
yeah, we're here,
Um, yeah, so
and I have to
she
do the
like
same thing you just did.
I don't know, it's just like Wells and Contessa do their normal tussle. I think it's supposed to be like funny because she's like having this phone call while like beating the shit out of Well. Um, but she like it manages to get him stuck to a couple things, and then she does like a little hurdle situation over him and then runs into Number Man's office. But the teleporter character is keeping up with her and shooting her with a gun, which is funny. I just always think it's funny when they're using guns. Uh, if we had, if Dinah had a gun at the beginning of this, things would have turned out differently. Just saying. Did I lose my spot? Can you hear me okay? The microwave is going and it likes to interfere.
I can hear you, but I'm long distance from the mic. I don't know if you can hear
Oh,
me
you're good. You're
anyway.
good. Yeah, I don't know. It makes me nervous that the microwave interferes with my headset because what's it doing to my brain? But yeah, uh she ends up getting a hold of his guns and she just shoots him in the face just a little bit. And she's like he's gonna be fine, but I shot him in the eyeball. Um, and she enters Numberman's office, and the glass over the doormaker window is bulletproof, but she's like shooting it to try to dismantle the frame around it, which I'm not exactly sure how the setup is, but also it's just like Numberman's such a piece of shit. Like, I know that doormaker doesn't expend energy keeping doors open, like they just are open once he opens them. But like, what do you mean you make him keep a constant portal for your scenic view in your office in your
He needs
evil
it.
fucking company?
It's
Like
like
I can't
in The
stand
Sims,
it.
how there's like a room score. How like if the room is too drab, then the person can't stand it, and they'll start flipping out. Like that's the same thing for him. He uses this and that painting, the Dolly painting, as like a way to
Yeah.
heighten the room score.
I just can't. I just can't. Well, and it also I think he like has Doormaker like rotate the door to like different worlds too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
it's not
he
like
is
he just
expending
puts up
power.
one door. Like he probably goes in every day and then he's like, "Show me something magma-y."
Yeah, yeah.
Cuz because I think this is a different scene than he had viewed last time when we were in the Number Man
Well, yeah, and
enclave.
he thinks to himself how he rotates it and stuff between
Oh
stuff.
my
So
god.
yeah,
I just he's just such a shit sometimes. He's not like he's not like a shit in the same way that Jack is. I know that they're friends or whatever, but he's just a shit in the way like he's so like innately superior in his mind that he wouldn't even like consider something like this. Um but yeah, she's like shooting at the frame. The teleporter appears and hits her and gets pushed through the window and down a hill while he's like beating the shit out of her for somehow.
yeah.
Um Other case 53s are approaching and she manages to shoot one of them with her gun. And they get really mad at her about this. Well, tries to stop one of
They
the
got a
work.
misogynist in their ranks because what do
I
they
know.
yell when they she shoots one of them and they yell whore, and it's like how
I
does that
know.
connect?
I know that like I don't know where Sveta is in this scene. Uh, but I did just imagine that it was Sveta because it's funny.
No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be
He's like,
Sveta.
whore. I know, I know.
Sveta would probably hear that and feel like, oh, I'm bummed out that I have teammates that feel like this.
I
Dude,
know.
when you
Sveta's
see
so
this
sensitive.
Sveta backstory stuff and she's like, wow, I can't believe everything went down like this, I'm just like, ah, I know you had no social skills, but some of this kind of is your fault, actually.
She's yeah.
Ah!
She's just a soft boy, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Um well, yeah. So Sveta calls her a whore. Weld tries to
God
stop
damn it.
one of the so Weld tries to stop one of the irregulars, but he doesn't manage to. It manages to open their mouth and he's like barfing magma, like loads and loads of magma down the hill towards towards Contessa. And then I have a quote here.
Typical. Yeah. She rolled and came to a stop. She pushed herself up off the ground with her hands, moving too slowly to get out of the way of the onrushing magma or the plumes of smoke. But the moment the smoke had risen high enough, she kicked a rock to get herself moving and threw the branch. She moved until she couldn't feel the oppressive heat. The branch burned quickly, but it, coupled with the rock, made for a well-positioned image of a head and a burning hand when glimpsed through the smoke.
I just think that's very funny, but okay.
Oh, it is funny, yeah.
Like,
she's
oh yes, that's definitely Contessa down there. She's got her hand like raised over the magma.
Well, but the thing that makes it like funny is that like it seems like a thin plan. It seems easy to look through, but she knows that they won't see through it. She's like got an assurance that she's good to go.
Yeah. So Weld wants to go check on her, but the others are like, no, dude, she's totally dead. Didn't you just see her head and hand catch on fire? And
exactly.
They want to go get this irregular that she had shot to a healer. So
even though she identified the moment that that the guy got hit, she's like, oh, he's dead instantly.
Yeah, she was like fatality. 2 to 3 business days. So yeah, she's like tending to her wounds and kind of dilly-dallies as she makes her way back up the hill. But the portal is gone. I do think it's like I would have freaked out, but she's probably like, hey, when's this portal gonna be back? Okay, wait an hour.
Yeah.
So like an hour later, the portal opens up again. The lights are out. Dr. Mother is dead. Doormaker and Numberman are alive, but they're off the premises. The vials were gone, and all their plans have failed. So sad. She doesn't really have any feelings about any of this. So she finds a group of capes who are like, what? You were supposed to be dead. Everyone told us that they saw your head and hand burning in that magma. And also, she, like, doesn't know anybody's name, which I just think is really funny. Especially because Satyr is a cauldron cape. She didn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Satyr and Teacher are, like, the main ones here. So, Teacher starts asking for a bunch of things, and she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's like, I just need you to give me all of your info and your resources, and please be discreet about it. And she's like, I could stop you, but he just kind of steamrolls her, and tells her that he needs a second in command, and that they're all going to need help with a new crisis that's just come up. And he turns his phone around to show a picture of Weaver. Da da da.
My main, like, thing where I'm like, Fortuna is a shithead is literally just because she's like, I don't know what to do. I'll do whatever Teacher says. It's like,
oh yeah, it's just
nah,
like
dog.
That's
the worst one. Yeah, literally. Could you go to someone who's worse than that? Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. We'll talk about it more in the character section.
Yeah.
She's just so stupid. But yeah, do you want to talk about like arc stuff or overall?
Yeah, well, I do want to do like the final chapter thoughts kind of bit. And I think this one's like amazing. I think the alternate like timeline where you see the characters we already know, like really well done, really hits for me. It like sticks with me and makes me think about like the other scenes differently. And like even now, like obviously I'm making connections that I feel like I should have made before when I'm reading it this time, but I do think it's just like so flush with information. I mean, both on a basic level, but like the stuff I'm talking about is like on a like deeper level of like the, you know, moment to moment motivations of like different people, the like reason the entities failed, like that's kind of more subtext than text. The just it's got so much going on, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. I think this was, did you say this was like the longest, one of the longest chapters or one of the longest interludes?
I think it's one of the longest. Like the audiobook is not read by like a super slow reader or anything, and it's like an hour and
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah, Wildbow did comment at the top of this one. He was like, "This was a doozy." Clocks at,
Nine
I think he
thousand
would.
seven hundred seventy words at the time that he wrote it, and then like I know
Yeah.
he probably put some medium, probably not that heavy editing in based off like the typo threads, so might have changed a bit, but
Yeah.
you know, I have been reading, as you know, but maybe the audience, I don't know how much I've talked about this. I've been reading Worm to someone, like wholesale, reading all of it to them, and we just finished Arc 10, and I'm still noticing things where, like, clearly Wildbow flubbed a line, and, like, it's bad enough that I need to, like, take a second to, like, figure out what it's supposed to be. And I keep assuring the person I'm reading to, I'm like, no, he gets more consistent. Like
Yeah, I
I
mean,
try
there's
not to
definitely
sound too
like,
much like that, but you know.
yeah, it definitely needs like a thorough edit at some point, like mostly just for like typos and stuff. I think like enough of the like most of the actual like content is like quality enough that you wouldn't really have to change maybe any scenes. The only scene that like I think I would change, I mean just off the top of my head, is like that scene where they're like beating up the ABB members like in the burning building or whatever. And it's
Hmm.
supposed to, I think that just like the
It's
tone of
supposed
that
to be
scene
like a
like
comedy
doesn't quite
scene,
land.
but it feels like yeah.
It just like doesn't. It's just the type of people that they're beating up are like literally just like poor civilians that have been forced into this situation.
Well, and
So it
that's
doesn't
another
come off
thing
as very funny.
that's like it's like hard to know exactly how to feel about, because it's like I think that what it's going for might be to contrast the kind of weird tone with the fact that Taylor's doing this bad stuff,
Hmm.
but I don't I don't know, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that that could use like a clean edit, but yeah. That is like one thing, cause like I mean, I don't mind at all, pretty much. Like, it isn't a published work, like, a printed work or whatever. Like, it's still kind of in flux in a way. But
Mhm.
also, I don't know how much I would care that if I was seeing typos in a published work either. But, like, some people are sensitive to that, and so it makes it, like, a little difficult to
Well,
like, recommend to those kinds of people.
that's the thing is I feel like this person, if she was reading on her own, would see it as a detraction, and I just really don't
Yeah.
think, like, the way that I like this work, obviously I want to not have the typos and stuff, but it's not as big a deal as like the overall character emotions and like theming and all that stuff, where like that stuff is
Yeah.
so well done it overwrites my care for the minutia, which again,
Mm-hmm.
like, you can
Yeah.
improve the book by fixing the minutia, but
Yeah. And it's not like the line writing is bad. Like there's not like weird sentences that are like
in
for
the
the most part
earlier
that are like
chapters
clunky
in
or
the earlier chapters, it's more frequent that there will be a sentence where it uses like the same word 3 times, and it's just like,
mm-hmm.
that didn't. You got to change out one of those. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's like it just like I just don't care. I just don't care as much as other people, but some people
Yeah,
do care.
I know, because like the way that you and I are looking at most works is not. It's not like exactly one to one with how other people like view this stuff. I don't think.
Yeah, I think that I just see, like, when I'm reading, I kind of do see, like, the author behind the work. And so when I'm reading, like, little mistakes or little typos or whatever, it just, like, I'm like, oh, yeah. Because this was made by a person. And, like, they just haven't, like, gone through for the final edit yet because he's very busy with the other works that he's, like, actively publishing, you know?
It's
But
like
other
how in a
people are, like, they
play.
see it as, like, a piece of a product that's being handed to them and is incomplete in some way.
Yeah. It's like how for a play you could have like the best, most time period accurate costumes, but if somebody's wearing a cardboard hat in a play, I don't question it for a second. Like,
Yeah.
it's a play. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. I could go to like the you could go to the most like shabbily created play
And if the
and
acting's good,
still if the acting's good and the script is good, then it's a good play.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of set dressing in a literal way. So, yeah. What else did you want to say?
We can move on to the arc stuff. I mean, I think that this is a great way to end the arc. We we thought, you know, or I don't know what people thought, but we were told as an audience by a semi-authoritative voice of like, the other characters that Contessa had been killed, and
Mhm.
she totally slipped the trap. She did not get got.
Yeah.
And like I think that that's really important to learn. I also think that this is a good place to put this final perspective shift because we had like the end of arc 26 we saw from Scion's perspective and the sort of historical like shard perspective, and then we got Scion directly intentionally giving a vision with the second trigger event for the King of Cups, King of whatevers, um,
Yeah.
and then then this is like the final one we get before the last conflict, and it's so good and like enriching to like, okay, these are the stakes. And it's almost like the main, normally the interludes give you storyline info and then Taylor learns the same thing later, but this is too late.
Mhm.
We can't do that anymore. So Taylor learns about the Garden of Flesh, then we get to see it in the interlude because Taylor
Mhm.
has like overtaken the interludes as far as like what information can pass to the audience.
Yeah.
um, and yeah, it not that you need to see everything that happens in the past, but it makes good on the promise of like the Dr. Mother saying, we saved the world once in the past, or whatever, however she phrases it. um, and like it's like, yeah, she wasn't bluffing, she wasn't lying, they fucking did the damn thing. Like if they hadn't done this, everybody would have been fucked. Because I don't think they could have overcome both Scion and Eden as a pair.
Oh yeah. No, no way. Especially with the way that Eden had set up the different like teams to be contentious towards each other and like not be able to think past that or whatever. Really interesting that like that is basically why Partisan was like, let's go to war.
Yeah.
Because it's like impossible for them to seemingly like sympathize with the shepherds. Yeah, she's much more like hardcore than Scion. Like I know Scion's doing all this like evil stuff right now or whatever, but it is more like a child throwing a tantrum than anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Her plan was so meticulous, and if anyone had the like idea that something was wrong or that they could fight back, like she could cover up that idea if she sensed it, and she had
Mhm.
such like vast powers seemingly compared to the others because she would have had like the clairvoyance power, but
Mhm.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Well, characters, I just did like least important to most important for the chapter. So teacher and co. Teacher, well, first of all, Sator's still alive. We were lied to.
Yeah,
um,
I think that like the Sator's dead thing, like it could easily have felt correct from Shadowstalker's perspective, because like it's like I
yeah.
said, he was like, "Oh, last stand, boys and girls, in my team,"
Yeah, he like
and then he
acted
just
like,
leads
oh,
them
we're
to
all in this
die.
together.
It's
And then he just,
so psychotic. Like everything he does, I do not feel for Sator. I think Sator is like on the same level as teacher to my mind of just like this person needs to be gone. Anyway.
yeah, I mean, it's telling that teacher is like fine with letting Sator go off and do his own shit. Like, I don't know. Maybe he is using some sort of like using his power on him, but it doesn't seem like it. He's just like, yeah, I just let him run amok because I respect him, and you know that's a bad thing when it's coming from teacher.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, teacher just like, yeah, so he just fucking shows up and he's like, yeah, I work. This is my building now. This is awesome. Hey, Contessa, you work for me now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
God,
It's cute,
Contessa,
I guess.
do better.
That's all I have to say about. He doesn't really do much this chapter besides show up and boss
He,
Contessa around. So
yeah, he doesn't do much. Trickster's also
he's
there. As
obviously,
we know,
yeah,
Trickster's following him
yeah,
around.
yeah, which
But
is
he's like
nice.
a
He's not.
full robot now. He's like a mind taken, you know?
Yeah, but he can like move around, which is good. He's not like shitting himself. I mean, he might be. Who knows?
He's just walking around with that in his pants, you know?
The
Yeah.
teacher supplies a lot of adult diapers. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then we've got the wardens, which are the alternate version of the protectorate. So this is very funny because clearly
Well, but
Chevalier came up with this name.
also notably, like they only have traditional like Scion capes. They don't have any of the like legend hero because none of those guys
Hmm.
exist. No
Yeah,
cauldron
there's no
cape at all
cauldron cape.
exists. And so we
Yeah,
know everybody we see in this scene, which is not that many, are all
yeah,
Scion capes. And
yeah.
I'll just quickly go through. Partisan is Chevalier. Arsenal is Armsmaster. Clarent is Dauntless. Unnamed Gun Girl is Miss Militia. Richter is obviously Andrew Richter, creator of Dragon.
Richter.
And then the Black Knight, who they're like, we'll bait them into a fight and then have the Black Knight do it. It's like the Black Knight is Jack Slash. Um,
Oh.
yeah. Parahumans Black Knight never loses a Parahumans fight. Um,
Um. Yeah. Why is he? What side is he on? What's he doing here?
he's directly aligned with the Wardens. They're just going
Okay.
to use him to because they're like, if he's only fighting capes, he's unstoppable.
Yeah, that's true. I do find it like I don't know. I guess freaking Defiant is like the smartest person who's ever existed because he just has like this. Probably this is like one of the first interactions he's had with Eden directly, and he's like, um, I she talks about him being suspicious, but it's really unclear to me what exactly his suspicion is.
So the impression that I got of this scene is that they like the Thinker and the Warrior are longtime allies, like permanent allies of the Wardens, and
Yeah.
they communicate with them frequently, and that it's only recently that Arsenal has been able to like realize and see through it. It's like how in the normal setting Scion is viewed as like the greatest hero basically,
Mhm.
like dumb but still the most powerful, most unstoppable hero. And so
Mhm.
m- basically no one questions Scion's allegiance until like aside from like Cauldron people, until the thing is happening. And like even tons of the people in Cauldron don't, like the vast majority of Cauldron employees don't understand that their goal is to fight Scion.
Yeah, they don't know it's Scion specifically. They just know it's this end of the world scenario or somebody or whatever.
Yeah, so I kind of think it's the same thing where like just nobody in the Warden suspects that the Thinker and the Warrior are not aligned with them.
So yeah, he's just like, I don't know. She is being like suspicious when she's like, yeah, and we're super busy, sorry, with other things that you can't know about. So you're gonna have to do the majority of the work, and then we'll show up last minute, and we're definitely gonna win, I promise.
Right, and I think the reason
So
she thinks
he
she
is
can get
just
away
like,
with
that's
that is because
weird.
they're like banking on their existing reputation, you know. They're
Yeah.
like,
Well, and
we've stopped
also
so
just
many
her
threats
mental block
before.
that she can.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
she's probably like made an Endbringer then being like, well, good thing we showed up in the end to kill it off for you.
It's giving. What is it giving? Oh man, I was gonna say it's giving Gilderoy Lockhart, but it's not. But I had something else in mind that like, uh,
Hmm.
oh man, I have like a scene in my mind where bad guys like or good guys like punching up this robot, and every time he like punches it, then like their arm would fall off instantaneously because he like was actually in control of the robot, but I just can't remember what this is from. Oh,
Isn't
from
that kind of
Incredibles.
Incredibles? Yeah. Well, I was
Yeah,
like, that
yeah.
sounds like the sort of villain
Mhm.
who's posing as a hero. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, it's giving that. Where he's like, "Don't worry, I'm here to help."
Hmm. Hmm.
Kick, kick. Oh, look, his arm fell off. I'm so much stronger than all the other heroes.
I was able to tap into its core and turn it off. How did I do
Yeah.
that? Question marks. I can't explain it to you. Actually, it's too high level. You wouldn't get it.
I gotta
So
imagine Colin's thought process is like, you know, it's kind of weird that they're the only ones that are just like have naturally matching
metallic skin colors.
looks, metallic skin colors. Like at this point there's no case 53s and there's no cauldron capes or in general, so nobody would really have like a physical recognizable element except for
I
these two.
I think that there would still be like freakish stuff. Like even if you just
Well,
take in
there'd
like
still
the
be
most
people like
basic.
Narwhal or what. Wait, is
There's like
Narwhal? Yeah, she's a
Narwhal.
natural cape.
She's a natural cape and she like forms her own weirdness. And then I was thinking of like the way that Purity's power like alters her appearance. And it just seems
Yeah,
like there's
but
enough people who
these
have like
two
kind of
are never
yeah,
in
they're never
normal
not silver
form.
and gold.
But it's
Um
not like they have to go to the grocery store and buy food or anything. So I guess maybe everybody just thinks this is their cape form, and maybe they do have like a secret identity.
yeah.
But yeah, like they do have matching skin tones in like a and aesthetics in like a way that no other capes would have. Like maybe Barker and Biter. They're like these guys. Maybe
Yeah.
these guys are actually super powerful evil villains.
Um And I mean, like, they are inherently just much stronger than other capes in the same way that,
Yeah.
like, I think that the warrior is just as powerful as Scion is. So, like, completely
Yeah, yeah.
unstoppable by normal capes.
Yeah, plus he has the like mind force of Eden like directing him or whatever. So,
Yeah, he's not just, like, dummy mode.
yeah. Well,
Um,
anything
hmm.
else we want to say about the Wardens? I just think it's funny because they're called the Wardens, and then spoilers in Ward, the like new version of the Protectorate is called the Wardens because Chevalier had one idea one time.
But there's also a group, major hero team called the Shepherds as well. So the Wardens and the
Yes,
Shepherds
yes,
both
both
exist in Ward.
exist.
Along with several other major hero teams. But
Mhm.
doot doot doot. But I don't think I have anything more to say about the Wardens. I do think it's cool that if Jack Slash is like actively cooperative and working with others, he is just this ridiculously powerful resource because he'll just like
Mm-hmm.
fight unlimited guys. Like, I know that there's points when he couldn't like directly win a fight and he'd have to leave, but like part of the point is he always knows when it's time to go.
Yeah.
So
Oh, well, then we've got Eden. What do we have to say about Eden?
I love, again, I keep saying it, but just her evil tee hee hee nature where she's like hee hee hee. And she keeps just, if she wasn't so delighted by her own evil, she could get away with some of the shit that she doesn't get away with.
Yeah. I mean, if she wasn't so delighted by her own evil, like the whole situation with Contessa, like needing to kill her, probably just wouldn't have happened. I
Yeah,
don't
she wouldn't have
know.
gotten caught by Fortuna necessarily. Like if she didn't
Yeah,
read her obvious malevolence.
if she if she hadn't lifted her head and smiled at her.
She's like, I can remember being her and being evil. Man,
It's
that's
just
part of the crazy part of the trigger visions is they're like literally just remembering being a crystal.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like Eden and Scion are evil in context, I guess. It's like they're just like not evil when they're up in the air being big worms, but what makes
Hmm.
them evil is integrating themselves and taking advantage of the, I guess, like the best parts and the worst aspects of humanity for their own ends. Like it's
Hmm.
only evil in the context of humans. Um but it just I don't know. It's just kind of weird because it's like you can't hold them to your same morality, but then they do get held to our morality because they fully
They bring
integrate
themselves to
themselves
our
into it.
level. Like that's part of it. Is
Yeah,
it's not just that
and
they
then
make the
they
human forms. It's that they have this like, especially with like Eden's updated concept of how things should be. Like she's got
Mhm.
this very in-depth knowledge of like this is how I can annoy people on a very small scale. In addition to my
Yeah,
ultraviolence, I can also just
yeah.
be awful.
And they have like and they definitely have a full concept of the harm that's happening.
Yeah.
And they're enacting
They're
on
they're like
people.
detailing in their little notebooks like how can we do the next level up of harm, and they like keep
Yeah.
just like making sure it's
It
exactly attuned to be evil.
it does feel like this scene too with Arsenal. She like immediately knows he's suspicious, and then she kind of like rubs it in his face for several minutes before like mind wiping him of it.
Yeah. And when I think about it, Eden is like the glimpse we get of the thinker is
Hmm.
the closest we get to like a Seamerg. Like the Seamerg is like an undirected version of this,
Yeah.
like a totally chaotic, like lives to create like these well, they're like directed damaging things, but like they're things that will like spiral out. The Seamerg
Hmm.
can't keep the plates spinning, whereas the
Yeah.
Thinker has infinite ability to keep adding new dimensions and keep everything in
Yeah.
balance.
It's just if they wanted to like sow chaos or whatever, they could have just acted like Endbringers. Like they could have just showed up every few years and then like killed people and da 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 da. But like no, we need to be we need to personally involve ourselves in every part of this and get people to trust us and like
And
I don't
like
know.
honestly, based on
It's just
everything that
really
we kind
fucked
of
up.
learn from ancillary stuff in other chapters, they were trying to have this constant like tipping point thing where there were these major clashes for 300 years. They wanted to keep up
Yeah.
this high conflict like intensity for 300 years.
Yeah. I think the thing that makes them like the most evil, it's like no matter what world they ended up on, they would absorb that world's ethics because ethics are based off of like what keeps people out of conflict essentially, and then become the worst version of all of it.
Yeah, they use
So
the
like
ethics to completely undermine anything they could. They have like anti-ethics and like
yeah,
anti-morality.
yeah. It just makes me think of like I don't know, like in this is so random, but Monsters Inc., where like
Mm-hmm.
the monsters think that the best way or the only way to get energy is by like scaring the children, and then later they learn that like it's even more effective to just like make the kids laugh and harness their laughter and joy. And it's like absolutely Eden and Scion could figure out a way to evolve their shards without being like this.
Yeah, like one of the things that we get, and again, like why I think that they could have like slowed down, like decided not to go to Earth and just like passed it by and stuff, is this part here. Confident, this entity responds. This is optimal. It is heavy with these new shards, drowning in knowledge and experience. If this could occur with every cycle, bringing this sort of information into the pattern, then survival beyond the endpoint would be virtually guaranteed. And it's like, I get that you'd still see the short term, like, we gotta keep sapping people, but maybe what you need to do is find the other entities out there and combine knowledge from all the shit they've done instead of just, like,
Yeah,
going
I mean,
solo mode or,
if
like,
they had
duos,
like a
but.
functional like some sort of society, then they would be able to do what humans do, like how humans gain
Yeah, trade
knowledge, which is
knowledge
by
forward.
working together. Like I know that like theoretically conflict will drive us forward in that way, but actually like will
In
the
real life, most
people will just keep
innovation comes
moving along.
together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like all these different like things. People will continue pushing science, continue making great works of art without
Yeah,
needing to have conflict. Like people
yeah,
want more new things. They want to create sites that no one's ever seen before. They want to make
yeah,
conveniences no one's ever thought of before. And like
yeah.
I feel like that's just innate, and a lot of people try to make the argument that like, oh, none of the advancement would have happened without the conflict, and I
Yeah, we would just be like
I
in the
just
dark
disagree.
ages if people had proper rights.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
it's
like
like,
it doesn't
no, actually.
it doesn't really make sense. More people could flourish and have more
Mhm.
ideas. It's like another thing is
Yeah.
like it, it's like seeing the entities and seeing Contessa in one chapter is great because you see as Contessa cuts through possibilities, she is eliminating paths for herself, and she's going forward and like losing the chance to do these other things. And it's the same for the entities. By insisting on moving forward and destroying these civilizations with their standard life cycle and like bursting forward, they're stymieing the possibility that these entities that they themselves admit have the imagination that they don't have, or like just like different ways of being, they're stymieing that
Mhm.
from having another shot at like what they want, which is to like stop the like heat death of the universe or whatever. So
Mhm.
like the fact that they can't see that they're like cutting out too much of a thing, because it's not like they're like saving more entropy from happening really, because they're just
Mhm.
front loading all the like, well, we stole all this energy and we did this big burst to send ourselves out in these other directions. They're like making the problem worse and speeding it up and not giving room for other people to solve the problem all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is like a species that is like we have seen like has incredible like an incredible knack for evolution and
Mm-hmm.
can like humans if a human like is changed in some way and then has a child like normally the child isn't able to inherit whatever the parent had. But that's not the case with these entities. Like they can go to a planet and then completely change how they function, and then when they like reproduce in whatever weird way they reproduce, then the like the cycle will build off of whatever they already changed or whatever, so their evolution can occur like in
In
very
like one cycle.
like way less cycles
Yeah.
than for humans or
Whereas
for
humans, like,
other kinds of.
for humans, we've learned recently about like epigenetics existing and stuff, and like markers persisting from like parent to child of like trauma and stuff in DNA. So
Yeah.
we know that there's that, but like the the scale of change is so like vastly different for the entities. They can like turn on a dime and like make all these new shards and like have all these new powers and ideas. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Eden. Anything else to say? She's so she's just so evil. And it just makes her I didn't like Liz Scion as a character here, but it is like very funny seeing her and Scion's relationship from her
Well,
side,
because the
which
other
she
thing
would
is
be
like
like incredibly dismissive and uncaring about
like
Scion.
they're fighting the dumb guy who barely matters in the relationship. They would have no chance against her because she's
No
so like,
chance
yeah,
if
she's
Eden had
so,
survived.
yeah, like manipulative and brilliant and
Yeah.
like she clearly in this like barely future forward, like it's set at the same time period of like around 2011 or so, because all the characters are still adults, they're not like younger.
Right.
He like she Eden seems to have in like that same time span like fully emotionally matured. um
Mhm.
I mean, she's still
Yeah.
evil, so like you can view that as you will, but it's like she's emotionally mature in the way that she cannot be affected emotionally in the way that like Scion can. She's
Yeah, like I know she
complicated.
has in in this part of the story, like we see that she has this huge blind spot or whatever of like the current timeline, but I it
Which
seems
is
like
also very
once
Seamer-esque.
she. Yeah, yeah, but it seems like once she like integrates herself into humanity that she's like let go of that just from like the little scene that we saw, that she's like, cuz they're going day by day and she's not pre-implementing like her shards into the conflict, like she's going to wait until the conflict happens and then like see where it goes from there. So I think maybe she's like given away her future vision or something, or
Well,
like
I
I
think
don't know.
the whole reason that she can't like um focus on the moment in my mind is because she is doing a future vision using a bunch of shards she's never like trying to integrate all these new ideas for their new like setup, and so she's trying to
Mhm.
completely shuffle the deck and come up with a new strategy with like 2 minutes left before game time, and it
Mhm.
sneaks up on her because she's so overwhelmed. It's like, I don't know, in like one of those trading card games where you need to build a deck, and it's like you just got offered 1,000 new powerful cards to build your deck. Don't get distracted, because if you don't complete the deck before the game starts, you know you'll
Mhm.
crash into the
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah. R.I.P. Eden. Well,
R.I.P. Den.
yeah. Dr. Mother. Let's talk about her.
It's like
I don't
we
know. This
said
is
before.
this like
It's
hurt
like,
my heart.
yeah, it's really sad because she basically like starts off really like I don't know, like good-hearted, or what, I don't know how you want to put it, but like she seemed like
Yeah.
I get positive vibes off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just seems like a person who inherently cares about other people. She has no stake in this game, you know? Like when she starts helping Contessa immediately. Like, there's no if, ands, or buts. This little girl's like, I need somewhere to live. And Dr. Mother's like, I would take you to my apartment if I knew how to get there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just, like I said, it's like the moniker of calling her Dr. Mother, like, is often like ironic. But like she did have this original like maternal instinct and probably still thinks she has that eternal instinct. Like she still thinks she is trying to save everybody and help everybody. Um, but yeah, it just makes me like Contessa has even would be like the person closest to her and she does not care that she dies. And so it just I don't know, it's like nobody cared that she died. Nobody like it's like a tragic loss of like a person that was that is just to see I guess where she starts out. And same with Contessa. Like like we don't get very much characterization from Contessa at all. We just like know that she was a little girl that
And we can like
cared enough
infer that.
about other people.
Yeah, yeah, like to put other people above her needs of like having her uncle there or anything. But we
Oh
can
well, and
also.
she even prioritizes like I don't know. She knows that this monster, she thinks this monster is going to kill them in like 300 years and she still prioritizes it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Um, but I was gonna say also that we will be sort of told more later, but also we can kind of infer that Contessa has been making decisions with her power so long, she has like extreme difficulty like breaking out of it, and that was already true when
Mhm.
she had her power for like one day, and then
Yeah.
she's like gone through all these trials and tribulations, and like she's got like major arrested development. So
Yeah.
she is definitely
It's
like a full grown woman with some sensibilities of an adult, but like many
mhm.
sensibilities that do not match her.
Yeah, it's like really clear that she pretty quickly became an empty shell of like a person. Like there's kind of nothing going on besides her power and she like very quickly had gotten to the point where Dr. Mother took over like the little amount of decision making that would need to happen. And so it was really like just getting directives from Dr. Mother and then taking the directive with her power. And like absolutely nothing outside of that because like how could she have an identity outside of that in that
Mm-hmm.
situation? Which is sad. And yeah, like you said, like Arrested Development, like you see Contessa, you're introduced to Contessa and it's like, oh, this like badass lady that can do anything. Like she's kind of like so sick and cool.
And she
But
does seem
after you
above
see
like
her like this,
everything, and you're kind of like
yeah,
you wouldn't imagine that she seems cool as a cucumber.
yeah, but like after you see what's behind that, it's just like depressing and she can't can take control or action over herself or her own life. And like we clearly see that when like teacher is very easily able to take over as the person who directs her because like what else is she going to do? She has absolutely no sense of self. So like there's not really anything in her that is able to say, well, maybe this isn't the right move.
Yeah, yeah,
um it's just much easier to keep doing what she's been doing and just accept that she's she's gonna be like teacher's second quote unquote second in command because she's not in command at all. She's just a tool and it's just very sad.
yeah. And I
Yep.
want to read out the quote that you pulled, which is uh, odd that she couldn't bring herself to feel badly about it Was it because she'd spent so long trying to achieve something and she'd failed? Or was it because she'd lost respect for the doctor, like she'd lost respect for herself?
Yeah. And like she says it respect here, but truly like whose death would Contessa be moved by?
Yeah. Like
Like
that's
she
part of
just
it
doesn't
too.
have anything going on anymore.
She like completely disconnected from her like overall like humanity aside from the like
Mhm.
high level goal of I've
Mhm.
got to destroy Scion. Like that's the only like main thing that's left is that.
It's kind of ironic that she uses the breadth and depth line on Riley to get Riley to realize that
Cuz it's
she's
kind of a
lost herself
self-own.
to her power. Because, yeah, she's in the exact same situation. Do you think when she said that, she was like, yeah, this applies to me too? Or do you think she just like she probably didn't even think about it. She probably was like, what should I say to Riley to get her to give me the remote
I
breadth
was
and
going to
depth? And then
say
she's like,
like
I wonder what that means.
I was gonna say like it's not very like hopeful vision, but I kind of think that she was no thoughts had empty that scene.
Yeah, I think she's always no thoughts
So
head empty. The like, the like most that I feel like we see her think is maybe in the scene where she kills all of Lung's friends and then he triggers and then she's like, yeah, I guess I'll just leave him because it's like for the better good or whatever of the group, which like Lung is kind of important in these like final
well, but
battle
it's also
scenes. So
it's like hilarious that she's willing to kill off two parahumans because they
she's
kind
like
of just had bad
teenager.
powers, and then when another parahuman comes along, like maybe she could probe what his power was, but I feel it's more likely that she's like, one, it's more efficient to just leave. Two, he might turn out to be powerful. Who knows?
Who knows?
But like those two who like fought her like sucks in wind guy and spits out wind guy and then also shoots like slightly faster versions of himself ghost guy. Like she's just like come on guys, you're gone, you're done.
Come on, take out Biter and Barker. Those guys suck.
Yeah, I mean, like Barker's power doesn't seem that good, but like Biter's power especially doesn't seem good because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, if I use my power too much, I give myself permanent pain, and it's just like, great, great, yeah, wonderful.
I know. The stuff like the powers that not not that they just like affect the first time, like when you trigger or whatever, like somebody like Rachel, but where as you use the power, they're more and
It
more
fucking
detrimental to
degrades
you.
you. Yeah.
That's just the worst thing I can imagine, honestly. Like I would be so devastated to get that would I would be more devastated to get a power like that than to become a case 53,
There is
honestly.
a character that is described in Ward in like a this happened to somebody once kind of way, but that we
Mhm.
don't actually see. And you might have, I don't remember when they tell this story, but it's like middle to back of the book, so you might not have heard it
Mhm.
yet. But it's a woman who has the power to move herself like to like de-age herself and Benjamin Button, but the only way she can re-age is normal speed forward.
Yes,
And
I think I have heard
yeah,
that.
as part of like a scheme to like try to um like defraud someone, she like de-aged herself all the way to being a baby, and it's just like, oh my god, this was so fucking terrible.
Does her brain still function as an
Yeah, well,
adult?
she still has
She
like
retains her
adult
memories and
persona, and
stuff.
then she had to like age up through
Oh,
like being
my
like a little
my
child
worst
again.
fear.
It's a
Oh my
fucking
God.
nightmare.
My worst fear is to go through what the children in uh in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe went through, which
Oh,
is
were
to
they
become adults
de-aged to
and then
become a
be
child?
thrown back into being children.
It depends. I always had this idea when I was younger that being able to be thrown into the past, like my past, with all the knowledge I have now would be pretty powerful.
It
So
would be powerful, but like think about the way that like you have no like control over your life as a kid. It's just too stressful to think about doing that again as like
I was also a
having
latchkey kid
experienced
who
the
had
freedom.
like the
That's true,
I
yeah.
had a lot more like I could kind of just go from a pretty young age and like kind of do
But you
whatever.
couldn't drive cars.
That's
Going
true.
my real worst fear is my license being taken away.
Yeah. Didn't it take you a
Uh,
long time to well, not a long time, but kind of
yeah, I didn't get mine till 21. Which it's like totally I
which
guess it's like
seems
just
like
totally
low
different
now
as an
because,
adult.
in the last year I've taught two people in their 30s how to drive, so
Yeah. I think it's more like being a for me at least it was like, you know, because now if I lost my license, I would still be able to get around. But if I was like 10
mhm.
years old again, like I couldn't like leave my house.
It's a lot harder to call a cab as a 10-year-old.
You're like, yeah, yeah, or like you order an Uber and you're like, what the fuck?
My parents said that I need to be sent across town. Yes, my
Oh my
parents.
God. I did get like an email from Uber and they were like introducing Uber Teen Edition. And I'm like, fuck you guys.
You know how
You're
dangerous a
gonna get
normal Uber is? Send your teen. Yeah, like
send
it's
your
just kind of
teen.
funny because like those I feel like those apps kind of have bad track records for not following
They
up
do.
on
Yeah.
bad stuff.
Yeah. They also have like the woman version, and I'm very hesitant to use something like that because I'm like,
mm.
I don't trust you guys at the best of times.
Well, it's like the thing in BoJack, the Cabra Cadabra, where first it became like a service for women, but then because women were the predominant users of it, it became like a
Mhm.
service for like predators to become drivers. So they had to replace
Yeah,
all
for
the
real.
drivers, and the only people they could get were the like strippers from the whale strip club. Anyway,
That's that's why I think yeah, Uber teen, the only other teens should be able to drive.
I see, I see.
Uh, mhm, babies driving around babies. Okay. You want to talk about powers, knowledge, and world building? I didn't. I just like threw random stuff in here, but like I want to just talk about the um this like first paragraph here is just her describing the cycles.
Yeah, let me hit it up
And
real quick.
she kind of just describes it differently than Scion did.
Hope, continued existence, is dependent on another reinvention of their species. They will use knowledge gleaned from countless other species, from mingling, matching, and culling their own internal libraries of functions. Yeah, whereas, like, Scion's more like, you gotta mash the toys together.
Yeah. Um, resetting of universes, reinvention of existence. Yeah. And then did you want to talk about the actual scene where Eden smashes with the other entity?
Where Eden smashes.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I mean that's kind of is like written all like it was violent and Scion is like, "Wait, babe."
they got super rough. Scion was watching from a distance. He was cucked.
It does come off like that just a little bit.
Um, Okay, I'm gonna kind of. This is when he's bothering her. Colony, the other entity signals, narrowing down possible destinations. Agreement. This entity is distracted and responding. It is receiving another broadcast. A third.
Mhm.
The communication
She's
is
looking at
almost.
her phone.
The communication is almost alien, a member of their species, but long distant from countless cycles ago. It's one of those memes like me, and then it's Golden Man Scion, the guy she tells me not to worry about, the entire space entity that is the like third being. Um,
For real.
the communication. Oh yeah, no. It hesitates, then signals its own location. Exchange. Meet. The response is garbled. Takes time to analyze. The third entity travels more through momentum than by insinuation. It expends vast quantities of power to change course. They meet violently.
I also think that's funny. He's thirsty as fuck, dude.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean honestly, no more than he's eaten.
No, yeah.
Uh they meet violently, as their ancestors did. They share with one another in a violent fashion, crashing together, breaking shard from shard. This entity knows right away that there is a wealth of information here, but there must be cooperation, information given for information. Even as they grind together, sexual, destroying one another in brutal exchange of shards, the entity works to salvage key shards, to put one it can afford to lose, or to put ones it can afford to lose on the exterior body. This is the optimal path, the best way to achieve their end goal. The shards here are richer with memories, experience, and unexplored possibilities. It is worth sacrificing as much as she is. They break apart. The third entity continues its path, moving to a distant star, its path perpendicular to the pairs. It also, because this thing has to expend a bunch more energy than they do to change path, I'm pretty sure it, like, it kind of already was going one way, and it's just like, I guess those people are safe over there. It's not going that direction anymore. but, um, but yeah, then it's concern. The warrior entity expresses. Confident, this entity responds. Look, I just hooked up with a different hot entity. I'm feeling pretty confident about myself.
He's like, babe, like maybe you should go get tested. She's like, no. It was great. Everything's great. Everything's good. She's like literally falling to pieces in front of him.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I still think that, like, probably some of the presaging that, like, they did when they were scouting out Earth had the idea that she would be using powers that she gave up to the other guy.
Yeah.
We're really gendering
Also
these
there was-
things a lot, but they are ungendered space crystals.
Yeah. It's like we're like heteronormative. The
Actually,
only reason
no.
that, like,
This is
Scion
what we're
is
going
a
with.
man
This is what we're going with.
and
Scion
Eden
is a man, Eden is a woman, but Abaddon is a non-binary baddie.
binary baddie. Yeah, that's why. Oh my god.
That's why Abaddon
Honestly,
travels alone.
this next paragraph as well, you had talked about the entity sees new possibilities now, not simply conflict, but philosophy, psychology, and imagination. Very important.
And this is also possibly what, like, we learn in Ward, again, slightly future spoilers, that these powers are like intent on figuring out what the hell dreams are.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so they're like, because they know about imagination now and because they know about psychology, then, like, the next logical leap within, like, human thinking structure is, like, dreams, I guess,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. It is very like weird and nebulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I before we started, I had talked to you how I wanted to involve this specific section talking about the philosophy, psychology, and imagination, because I think it's so like important to think about most of the powers, like Number Man is from Scion, for example. Like, Number Man's brain is like, there is no morality, there are only numbers. He's a real dweeby. And he, along with, like, Taylor's, like, cutthroat approach, all these people that are, like, just way more direct. Like, obviously there are some underhanded things from the Scion side of things, but most of them are more direct. And then, like, the like Cauldron Capes who have, like, Eden shards, a lot of them end up like having the kind of like emotion powers or like stronger manipulation or like
Mhm.
weird kind of subtlety. I don't know. That's how it
Yeah. And I wonder if
seems.
the psychology aspect of it could have made it even easier for the shards to be like harnessed and applied in the way that they do it because like they're not just brute forcing their way into somebody's mind. They're like,
Oh yeah,
okay, well,
I was
this
actually gonna
lady's
bring
like
that up.
breathing in and out as like a breathing exercise. Interesting.
Well, because
You know?
part of what I wanted to bring up about that is like maybe maybe trigger events in the past for this pair have been like before humans have been less um hyper specific about how they come about because maybe
Mhm.
they don't understand the psychology as much, and like the specificity of how you have to activate the like conditions for the power are more strict now because they're matching the psychologies with the power more.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe I'm just wrong about that, but I'm kind of spitballing. We only have so much information to work with, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No, I think it's important, and I think this whole exchange is also why, because Eden's like, oh, this exchange is what's going to lead us to the optimal future or whatever, which is why she's more easily able to just like integrate herself and act like a normal person. Um, like when she's like, I reminded them that I am only human. She like
cough,
acts
cough.
slightly
Well,
tired for a second.
it's also something that, as far as I know, I don't remember when it happens, but I swear to God, Dragon has a moment where she kind of like she's like, for just for everybody else, and she's like pretending for a second to just not be a robot. I don't know. So I think that's funny. I also do think it's like hilarious that Dragon is probably the best, like the most moral person. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know. There's
it's
the
just also
surveillance.
that
It's hard to say.
when
Everybody's so
when
bad
Dragon
that it's
fakes
easy to be the best.
when Dragon fakes emotions, it's because she's utilizing what she knows about them to about humans to properly convey what she's feeling or thinking. But when Eden is doing it, she's doing it to go hee hee hee.
Yeah.
You know, like Dragon isn't. I don't think Dragon like lies to people for fun. I think she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna act like a person because people think I'm a person, and this will make it easier to communicate.
Like Dragon's more likely to have like a that seemed to make him happy. That gave me a warm feeling. Like kind of
Yeah.
interaction.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was the next thing in Powers Knowledge and World Building is just that Eden and Scion had been planning on like fully integrating themselves into the Cape community. Um,
But
as
when Eden
like
was gone, Sion was like, I don't know what to do.
he didn't know what to do with himself. He's
He's
like, she
like
didn't
totally
say
Fortuna coded.
agreement.
He like he
Yeah.
like has to walk up to fucking Kevin Norton and just be like, so like what do I do, bro?
What am I supposed to do? Exactly. And then he like does it again with the little French girl or whatever,
And then does it again with
and
Jag.
then with Jack Slash, he's just like, oh okay,
This guy's pretty
you said arms
convincing
are supposed to
actually.
kill people.
Like that's how he becomes a he becomes a men's rights activist after hearing Jack online.
Oh my god, gets all red pilled.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then yeah, I was just gonna talk a little bit about Contessa's power. It's like it's not just like a predictor. It's like she just has to her body like naturally will follow the steps
Which
which
actually
makes
matches
everything
Coil.
really easy for her. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's literally
Um,
Coil would be like when he activates his power. I'm pretty sure like no time is passing and he's just projecting the futures in his mind. And then when he says
mhm.
like now is when I'm going to turn off my power and turn it back on again, then he's not actually getting like a zero gap thing. He's acting out the whole time. So if there was an
Mhm.
entity that he can't see through in that time, then they could totally throw off the balance of his power, and he would keep trying to act out the other stuff. I think he does actually have like a ridiculously major flaw that never comes up in story, where like he just can't, like, his future forward pick one of two self can't react to things that are clouded from his vision,
Yeah.
which would
Yeah.
include other like the Endbringers, like Scion, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah. Um. Yeah, and then just the fact we didn't really like touch on it, but that this like Fortuna, for the power that Fortuna ends up with was the one that should have just like helped the entity to like physically preserve herself, right? Like it just would
Yeah,
have automatically kept her safe and she
I
would have
do
just followed the
think
steps there.
I think Scion has a version of this power, but I also think that the specific shard, like, it always made me think that like he is using a format of Dinah's power, but that
Mhm.
she is using like the Eden side of Dinah's power. In my mind,
Mhm.
Dinah and Contessa are just like essentially the same power. They're just coming from the shards from the different entities.
Yeah, and Dinah's has more, she has like the limitations built into it more so
Yeah, because
because
Scion
like
actually
this one
took
hadn't
the
been properly
time to
worked on.
cripple the power, whereas
Yeah.
Eden didn't do that. I mean, she tried
Yeah.
to in the moment at the last second.
Yeah, in like the last second she's like working on the power and then she sees herself like hit the ground and then she's like fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she gets like a so Contessa gets like a full version of the power, but that just has the very basic fog mental block. Well, I also wonder if it didn't have the did she see the fog before
I
she
think I think that
approaches the
only
fog?
gets blocked at the last minute. I feel the the sort of Eden projecting the human body was like actively working on her right up until the end. And then
Yeah.
like had she had the time, she would have either killed her off or like just made it so that she couldn't deal with stuff. But like other like flip side of that is if they had somehow killed off Eden like 5 minutes earlier, then she could probably use her
Mhm.
power against Scion.
Yeah.
So too bad,
And
too slow.
and then the only other thing I think I wanted to mention was the way she crashes down and then it seems like a bunch of the shards get disconnected like they've all sloughed off of her or whatever and then the shards are just running around like putting themselves into plants or putting themselves into people and it's also very funny that they're visible so like the uncle and the friend do see
But they
the
talk about it
shard
like it's a
jump
ghost.
into
So it's
yeah
like,
they were
yeah,
just like oh
semi
stop her
permeable, semi visible, and it's like
hmm
it seems as though they're like physically touching people to give them corona palenches and stuff, which is
hmm
just bonkers compared to the way that we've seen it in the past.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're just kind of scrambling
Well, because I think
because
when the
they're like
main,
trying to fix the
you know, because
situation.
they're like colonial jellyfish, where like the whole thing is one entity, but also every shard is alive. So like the individual shards, without having like a conductor to tell them what to do, are just like, ah, we gotta latch on to stuff quick. um, cool. Well, is there anything else we wanted to sort of go over in the powers section?
No, I think that's everything. It's a juicy chapter.
Yeah,
But
it
I think we talked
certainly
about most
is.
of it.
Um, okay, I want to talk about the audience participation question that we came up with, which is which cape from the story would you most want to see the alternate timeline version of? So the restrictions are pretty obvious. It can't be a cauldron cape. And it's a lot better if they're old enough to have been born before the timeline split in the 80s.
Yeah. Um, I didn't like. Well, I don't know. I don't care about those old ass capes personally. But I do
Oh,
think that
sad.
like I would like to see like an alternate Tattletale, I think, because
Mm.
I think that she could have turned out quite different. Like just based on kind of like based on like the information she gathers and like builds off of or whatever.
Hmm. I also, yeah, I mean, that's a good pick. I was going to say, for me, because I had already been kind of building in the restrictions, like, I want to
Hmm.
see Carol and Mark. Like, Mark's
Yeah.
shadowy backstory is so, like he says maybe the most compelling sentence in all of Ward, and I'm like, no, tell me more. And then he just gets cut
You
off
don't
because
get
no one wants to listen to him. And I'm
nobody
just like,
cares about
no,
Mark. Mark
Mark.
doesn't ever get an interlude chapter.
Uh, well, I think that's correct. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's so messed up. He's just such a sad boy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like, I don't know about
Oh
like
wait, no, no,
maybe he
no.
doesn't feel like this, but
I think there's a
go ahead.
chapter that shifts through a bunch of perspectives, and he just gets a tiny
Oh,
scene.
oh my God, whatever. I just feels like he's yeah, like I said, he's just such a sad boy, but also if I were the father of the situation that happens with Victoria and Amy, like he'd be like, "Oh my God, like if only I like hadn't got hit, if only I hadn't done this in the battle and I got brain damage and I forced Amy to save me and da 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 da." Like that probably just all feels so bad.
Well, and he's already got depression, so he's just like,
Yeah.
this is all my fault
Just
again.
just on top of it and then like obviously in Ward like things are more complicated and like everyone's mad at each other. It's just terrible.
Except for Flashbang, he's just sad at himself.
He's just a sad boy. He's like, please, my children, don't hate me. I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I think that like Alt Carol and Alt Mark would be cool ones to see, and
Yeah.
I believe that they're both old enough to make the cut. Um, Even though they're fairly young parents, they would have been alive before the 80s, just before.
Yeah.
Um, I think that that's probably good enough. Um, I don't have a question prepared for 30.1. Maybe I'll think of one
Um,
before the next stream, but
maybe something about like, because Amy's going in and altering Taylor's power, like
yes.
maybe another like power alter that could have been like helpful for this situation. Like a different cape.
Yeah.
Or I guess
What
it could still be Taylor, but a different change.
other power
What mind
alterations
fuckery might Amy get up to?
could have helped against Scion instead of Amy working on Taylor? I'm just going to say it this way. It's easier than to give the caveat. If somebody feels like they want a Taylor answer, like, obviously we'll
Yeah,
be perfectly fine with that, but just not
yeah.
going
More crabs.
to. Yeah. Overwhelm him with crabs.
It's just the exact same power, except Taylor can also make the crabs grow really big.
Yeah. Oh my
Just
god,
like
it's
a
Taylor's power plus bitch's power,
with a
and she's
Rachel's big power, yeah.
she just like has millions of bugs that are all growing in size all at the same time,
Ew.
like swarming him. Hell yeah,
That's
brother.
funny, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna let me see how long this speed draw is. Maybe I can. Oh, it's quite short. I'm gonna replay the
It's pretty
speed
short.
draw while we start the music, which will blow my mind out with its volume, and then
Wow.
it's not like actually ear damaging, but it's just enough to be distracting. Um, And
Yeah, go
mhm.
ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm just gonna read our normal sort of ooh, where'd they go? There it is. Outro things and links and stuff. And then what is happening? Show me the description. Okay, here we are. So the music we used in this episode for the final time, this is our last time hearing it, it's Extinction by ScarlettXOX. You can find her work at twitch.tv/Scarlett_Rogue. Our Discord server link and the other links can be found in the stream and channel description. The author of the work being discussed can be supported on Patreon at patreon.com/Wildbow. The full text of the work is available for free online at parahumans.wordpress.com. There is also a fan-made audiobook of the entire work at audioworm.rain-online.org, along with the alternate audiobook at abaddonproductions.org. And hey, this episode we met Abaddon, so we finally know what that's about. And then there's a link to that alternate fan art that I had shown by Lonsheep called Flesh Garden. If the link stops working at some point, like, the best way to search for it is just Flesh Garden Lonsheep Parahumans, you know?
Yeah. It's also like on the main wiki for Eden.
Yes. Currently it's in the Parahumans wiki. Yeah, Vic, you gotta say one last thing, and then I can cut off the stream.
Wait, I don't even have a joke. R.I.P. Eden, I guess.
R.I.P. Eden.
Hashtag Eden did nothing wrong.
Eden did nothing wrong, just like Alexandria and Taylor.
Yeah.
It's weird how few characters did anything wrong. Anyway.
We support women's wrongs.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.